Hello there and welcome once again to the Mayor's Magazine. I'm Mick Cornett, the Mayor of Oklahoma City. Glad you're with us. This is our show for December 2013. December. That can only mean one thing in Oklahoma City. It means you need to go downtown. Downtown in December has a lot of great events that you and your family and friends and your children and your grandkids have all had opportunities to enjoy in the past, and it's bigger and better than ever this year. And here to explain is the marketing director of Downtown OKC, Jill Delozier. Welcome back to the show, Jill.
Thanks for having me.
I don't know where to start. I remember when this series of events it seemed like a handful. And it seems like we'd do a segment in the Mayor's Magazine and we'd stretch it out to make sure that we mentioned it. And now we're trying to compress everything into one segment because there are so many different things going on. So with that in mind, let's start with, I guess, what I think symbolically is what seemed like the first Downtown OKC event at Christmas, and that was the Devon Ice Rink. The idea originally that you could skate downtown seemed so mind-boggling 10 years ago when we started doing it in front of the Civic Center, and of course it's moved to kind of its permanent home now in the Myriad Botanical Gardens.
Correct. Yeah, it's been around for about 10 years now, and it's such an urban, exciting thing to do some outdoor ice skating right in the middle of downtown. And it's been fantastic having it over at Myriad Gardens now, like you said, in a permanent structure. And it will be opening up tomorrow, so people can come out and skate. It's open 7 days a week, and it will be open until early February this year. So,
how exciting. So have we expanded the number of days that it's available?
Yes, it's grown every year, and we've also expanded the size of the rink so we can accommodate even more skaters. Last year there were some evenings, especially after Thunder games, when it was really packed.
Now, some downtown in December events are free. This one's not free because you rent skates and those types of things. So what type of cost are we looking at? This
one is $10 per person, and it's for all ages. And if you're just coming there to watch your kids skate, you don't have to pay.
Okay, and how long does a person get to skate for that $10 amount?
That's unlimited.
Okay, so for me, 5 minutes.
Right.
But for a person of normal exercising abilities, they could stay an hour or two or three, however long that their kids can last on the ice. Great, and it's a little bit reflective of the weather. I mean, because it's hard to know what to wear when it's 70 degrees and you're ice skating.
Yes, there are chillers under the ice, so the ice doesn't really melt when it gets warm, but if it gets too hot or if it starts raining or it's windy, sometimes the ice rink will have to close early. So
it's easy to overdress because you think you're ice skating, but then you're exercising feverishly.
Yeah, it's kind of like skiing.
It might be 50 or 60 or even 70 degrees. It's possible. And so think about all of those elements, and please bring your kids and your grandkids down. This is something I think everybody in Oklahoma City needs to get out and experience. Even if you don't skate, just come down and watch the others because it's a lot of fun. Devon is also sponsoring Santa Claus this year. I guess Santa Claus is coming down. He's just out here Saturdays. No question. He's at other places other days of the week. But in Oklahoma City on Saturdays.
On Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. every Saturday after Thanksgiving and before Christmas, Santa will be at the Devon Rotunda, and he will be there visiting with all the kids for free, and you can just bring your own camera to take pictures with Santa. And Mrs. Claus will be there telling stories, and they have crafts and snacks available for purchase, and you can write letters to Santa if you don't get a chance to go upstairs and see him.
All right, so pictures are free, but bring your own camera.
Yes.
And Santa is there to all your holiday memories can be captured there. We're also going to be back at the ballpark for Chesapeake snow tubing, another highlight of the season.
Yeah, it's a giant man-made slope. There are actually two of them. One's a little bit taller, and then we have a kid-sized slope. And they're being built right now. They're going to open up this weekend inside the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. And it's a big slope covered with snow, and people can grab an inner tube and slide down there. And those sessions are 90 minutes each, and it's also $10 to get in there. And on the kids slope, there's no height requirement, so even little tiny kids can go down that if they're brave enough.
Yeah, and so you get for your money, you get a sled basically that you have to walk up the stairs every time you want to do it. And
so you also get exercise benefits.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. You're not just sliding down all day. You're actually having to go back up, and there might be a line depending on how crowded it is, but that's for a 90-minute session, which is probably all you want. I mean, even the most fervent snow person is going to probably get all the sledding they want in 90 minutes.
Yes, and they also have hot chocolate for sale in there, so you can mingle around while you're waiting to go down your next slide.
All right. Also, on the day after Thanksgiving, which is depending on when you watch this show, it's probably already occurred, but we have lit the Christmas tree that's in Bricktown. And so if you missed the tree lighting, you're welcome to go by and take a look at it, but it's in Bricktown.
It is. The tree is set up on the Third Base Plaza at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark this year. It's normally across the street over closer to the canal, but there's some construction there. But we have some new ornaments on it, and it looks really pretty. It's already up, and everyone's enjoying it.
We have another event called the Sandridge Santa Run, where we're forcing Santa to lose some weight and exercise. What are we doing there?
Yes, too many cookies. That is going to be Saturday, December 14th, and it starts and ends at Leadership Square. And there's a 5K race and a 1 mile, and it raises money for North Care, which is a health organization in downtown.
North Care is a wonderful organization and certainly worthy of donations. And as I recall, sometimes people dress up in festive wear for this run. And so it's not enough just to get out and run, but people may dress as Santa Claus. I've seen people dress as elves. It can be quite fun just to get out. Running is not always fun, but this event probably is more fun than most. Yeah,
there's a costume contest after the race, and people can win cash prizes. So it's been getting pretty competitive over the past few years.
And if the weather's nice and the water's not too cold, we have the water taxi rides going on the canal, and so typically those are like $7, I think, aren't they? The last time I went, that's what I remember paying, but not so during downtown in December. What's the cost going to be this month?
It's free Thursdays through Sundays, Thanksgiving weekend until New Year's, and that's another one of our really popular events. It's free and it's just gorgeous. We've got the One Main Financial's Bricktown Canal lights are up, so you can it's a shorter cruise than the regular river taxi ride. So it's about 20 minutes, and you can just go along and enjoy the lights, and we'll have live music there on Saturday evenings, and it's really fun.
So if the weather's nice, enjoy it. If it's not nice, just bundle up and go anyway.
Yes.
All right, Thursdays through Sunday, free water taxi rides on the canal. The next item on my list, automobile alley lights on Broadway. And this one's easy to experience. You only have to get out of your car.
Yes, it's true. So from 4th Street to 10th Street along Broadway and Automobile Alley, every year we string lights, and they're in curtains up along the buildings. And so it's a little bit of a unique light display and something that has been replicated elsewhere, we've seen. So all the buildings have different colored lights on them, and it's really fun to you can walk through there or drive through there and see it really lit up. It's a gorgeous display.
And One Main Financial is sponsoring Lights on the Canal as well.
Yes, and they're doing more lights this year, so it'll be even more lit up than usual. And so again, those water taxi rides will be really fun to see lights all the way from the top of the canal all the way down.
Now, some people like to do things in December. Some people just like to buy stuff. And boy, do we have something for them. The Deluxe Winter Market is coming back for another year.
Yes. Last year we had it outdoors over a weekend, and so we're moving it inside this year. We didn't want to press our luck. We've been really lucky with the weather. So it'll be indoors at the Chevy Bricktown Event Center the weekend after Thanksgiving. It's a Saturday and Sunday, and it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning both days, and it's 40 vendors that are all local, and they have handmade goods and crafts, and should be a really fun time, and some music happening and kids activities as well.
All right, and Continental's Free Movie Mondays. I assume that's sponsored by Continental Resources?
It is, and this is so huge. The movies, to get in for free, you have to register on downtowninDecember.com. So we put the links up online 2 weeks before the movie date, and it's every Monday in December. There's a different holiday movie that's being shown at Harkins.
Do you know which ones? Am I stretching your memory back?
Well, the first one, which will have happen right when the show is airing, is going to be A Christmas Story, and we're also showing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Elf, and a couple of others.
They're fun Christmas
They're
movies.
really fun.
Yeah,
and
that's great. And which theater?
At Harkins.
Okay, so in Bricktown,
in Lower
at the
Bricktown.
Harkins Theater. Terrific. Yeah. Sonic Segway Santa. What is that about?
This is Santa likes to cruise around downtown and make sure that everybody's being nice and just checking up on everyone. So you will see him on a Segway throughout downtown, all 40 days of the holidays, and he's passing out Sonic Mints and gift cards and taking pictures, so it's really fun. You can spot him from your office window, and people will tweet about where they see Santa. It's really fun.
That's cool, and we're running out of time, but what's going on Film Row?
This is new this year. We're going to be decorating the buildings along Film Row, which is a newest district of downtown, and it's going to have vintage decor on it. So we'll have some lights along the tops of the buildings and some decorations that replicate some Oklahoma City decorations from the 50s and 60s.
All right, and I know we're running out of time, but the Little Willie's Double Dog Dare, whatever it is the race where you run up the buildings, and I don't remember what day that is. Do you remember?
It's December 7th. It's a Saturday in Leadership Square, and it's a stair climb event.
So Saturday, December 7th. I just think this is a great event. Great because I have never done it, but I'm thinking about it this year. But basically, you walk up the stairs of Leadership Square, which is 20-something stories, I think.
Yes.
And then you're going to go up the other tower, Leadership Square.
You can choose your level. So
Yeah.
if you want to do one tower or two or three, or
Right,
you
and-
can do it all twice.
Yeah, and then you're going to go across the street to Oklahoma Tower, which is the skyscraper on the other side of the street. And I'm excited because I think a lot of our firefighters are going to actually wear their equipment and do part of their continual training by being part of the event. So it's great to see them get involved, and we appreciate them 365 days a year, but especially fun to see them get involved in downtown in December. Jill, thank you and your staff, and I wish we had time to get into more of these events because there's a lot of really great things going on, but it's well publicized, and Jill, give us your web address so people can get more information.
Sure. It's downtowninDecember.com, and you'll see all 20 of the events listed and some of our partners' events as well.
She is Jill Delozier. She does a wonderful job as the marketing director for downtown OKC, and this month she's booked solid, so if you need Jill, forget about it. She's busy. We'll be back with more of what's going on in Oklahoma City when we return on the Mayor's Magazine. Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine, and what are you going to be doing on December 31st? I bet you're planning on going downtown and being a part of opening night, and so to help you make your plans, we have two guests with us today. Christina Foss is the current opening night director. She's closest to me. And then Lindsey Pever is the director of the 5K finale 5K, is that what it's called?
Yep.
And you've been in charge of opening night previously, so
Yes.
you kind of know what she's going through in
I do.
these last few days and weeks before this incredibly large event. Basically, opening night is how Oklahoma City kicks off the new year. We go downtown in large numbers and celebrate with different music venues at different places. And so, Christina, let's talk about in general. If someone's never been a part of it and is learning about it for the first time, how many people are we talking about here? What crowd are you expecting for your party?
Well, it kind of varies every year, but we normally have a good 50 to 60,000 people at the end, all gathering in the Myriad Gardens to see the fireworks finale and hear the music and count down to midnight. And that all takes place in the Myriad Gardens Grand Lawn.
Yeah, in fact, I remember last year being there in the Myriad Gardens to watch the ball drop. So it seemed like there was a lot of people. When you're in a crowd of 50 and 60,000 people, it's hard to know how many others are around you because you can't really see them. But it felt like you're part of something really special, and I guess that's the point of this.
Yeah, it's the finale is of course the best part of opening night because you're ringing in the new year. But
I thought you were going to say because it's done and your entire year's work is over.
Oh, well, there's that too. But no, it's great because it's so energetic and engaging. And yeah, you feel like you're really a part of something special.
And a great band last year, as I recall. I don't remember their name, but it was really good.
Yeah, Short Dog was our finale group last year. This year we have Matt Stansberry and the Romance, who will be performing, and they start performing actually at 9 o'clock on that stage, on the bandshell stage there. But they will be leading us all the way up to midnight with their, energetic, just high energy performance. And, it's fun. You get to go out and celebrate with all your new friends you're making in that huge crowd. And it's just really entrancing experience, I think.
Well, let's come back and talk about the individual artists and locations. But Lindsey, talk about the finale 5K. Am I pronouncing it right? Is that what it's called?
That's what we're calling it, the finale 5K. This year's the inaugural year, and it came to us by just a runner said, hey, why don't you do a 5K run in conjunction with opening night? And I've always wanted to do a run somehow at the Arts Council, and so we're really excited to partner with Integris and help people kick off their new year with some health.
And where do we start on that
We
run?
start in between the Devon Tower and the Myriad Gardens on Sheridan.
Okay.
And it's actually a really neat run. It goes all through downtown and then it jogs south to the Skydance Bridge.
Wow.
So you get to go over that. That'll be really neat. And then come back up to finish right back where you started.
It is exciting. And is this, no matter what the weather, we're running?
Absolutely.
Atta
Unless
girl.
unless it's dangerous,
Okay.
we're out there.
So if there's ice all over the place, maybe not.
Right.
Maybe not. Don't
Right.
count on it.
But
if
we're
it's
not counting
cold,
on
just,
ice.
Yeah, just figure out what you need to wear, because remember, you're going to be running. And
Absolutely.
you may not have to wear as much as you think.
Well, and speaking of what to wear, we want people to dress festive. Since we're the Arts Council, we're trying to infuse arts into the race everywhere we can.
Of course you are.
So some opening night bands will be performing along the route, and then best festive dress gets a really nice original artwork as a prize.
That's awesome.
Along with another, the people who win first place, male and female, get an original work of art from Dean Immel, and then the top 3 in each category also win a different original work of art from Colin Rosebrook. So we're incorporating some art in every way we can with some local artists.
And what time of day on New Year's Eve
The
is
1
this?
mile kicks off at 2:30 in the afternoon, and the 5K is at 3. And we did that so that that's about the warmest part of the day, and then you can go home and don your festive gear for opening night and come back for the rest of the festivities, because you get a wristband with your entry.
That's great. And how do you sign up to run in that race?
You can sign up at the Arts Council's website, and you can do that right now. It's $25 in advance, so.
Okay, and it's a fundraiser.
It is,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So we're always trying to bring arts in the community together, which is our mission, and so any way we can do that, we need the funds to do it, and this is a unique way to do that.
Yeah. Well, Christine, let's get back to the evening events on December 31st. Which venues are going to be in action that night?
So we have 10 venues, which are spread out across downtown Oklahoma City, and we have many of the same ones in the past, like the Cox Convention Center, which has our huge children's area with tons of activities for the children, and then several stages just within that one venue. And then we also have the Myriad Gardens, of course, which we have the finale stage, and we also have the inside of the Crystal Bridge, the Downtown Library, the Museum of Art, Bank of Oklahoma Building, Leadership Square, Oklahoma Tower, Chase Tower, and then also First National Center. So 10 venues total. We have about 16 stages, though, spread out across those venues.
And which artists will be appearing this year?
Oh, well, we have up to 40 different performances. So,
Really?
yeah.
That's more than I would have guessed.
So we have a lot of old favorites, like we have OKC Improv coming back again, and Al Good Orchestra, Edgar Cruz, but then we also have a lot of new people performing. Paper Scissors is going to be performing, and they're a local pop, kind of alternative pop
I'm
band.
not familiar with them.
And the Salsa Shakers, so we have some salsa music, and the Younglings will be performing. They play some blues music, and we just have a lot of new people every year that we like to incorporate in the event, along with some old favorites.
Well, one aspect that I think a lot of our viewers are probably thinking, and they think about it because a lot of these people don't go downtown a lot, but the first thing they think of is, where do I park? Because parking
Right.
is such an issue for people that don't come downtown frequently. Do you have suggestions in that
Yeah,
area?
and actually, if you go to our website, artscouncilokc.com, we have a map of all of our venues, so you can easily find where everything is. And on there, there's also parking garages that are located with just a nice little P.
Right.
So you can see some opportunities of where to park. And then, of course, there will be a lot of signage out that night, because I know that there's a Thunder game going on, so there should be a lot of extra lots open to park as well.
Okay, so please don't let parking or the perception of a parking issue impede you from coming down to opening night. Come on down. You'll find a place to park. It'll probably be free, but maybe not. There's for pay parking as well. But I want people to try, if they can get over this hurdle about parking downtown. And even with a Thunder game,
And a Barron's
Yeah,
game.
there's plenty of places to park.
Absolutely.
And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to want to feel a part of the event. And this is sponsored by the whole evening.
So opening night is presented by Devon and Chesapeake, and we've got a lot of other sponsors, but they're the presenting sponsors, and we couldn't do what we do without them. And lots of other philanthropic corporations in Oklahoma City. But about the parking, yeah, there's also lots of street parking available. So like you said, you will find a parking spot.
Okay, and let me give out some additional information here. Going to my notes. Wristbands are $8 in advance for opening night, $10 at the event. If a child is 5 or under, they're free. Wristbands are available, and the wristband is what allows you to walk between venues. At 7-Eleven stores, at the Metro Homeland stores, at Science Museum, Oklahoma, and beginning December 2nd, you can go to MidFirst Bank locations. Lots of sponsors. We particularly appreciate Devon and Chesapeake being so heavily involved. And we appreciate what you two and the rest of your staff do at the Arts Council 365 days a year. You're out supporting a lot of really great organizations. And the fact that this is sort of a fundraiser for the arts kind of gets lost in all the fun and excitement, but it shouldn't be. And we'll cross our fingers the weather's good, but if it's not, we'll put on a coat and we're coming down anyway.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you two for what you do.
Thank you.
And the Mayor's Magazine will be right back. Welcome back to this final segment of the Mayor's Magazine. What were you doing 20 years ago this month? Well, hopefully you were preparing or had already voted in the map selection. That's right, December 14th, 1993, a pivotal day in Oklahoma City's history when the citizens of this community came together and passed what is now a landmark series of initiatives that have greatly and grandly improved the quality of life in the city of Oklahoma City. As you can imagine, 20 years deserves a celebration, and Mike McAuliffe is here to talk about the city's celebration, and Mike has been instrumental in trying to figure out how we do it, because with so many venues, so many interest groups, so many people in the community that were instrumental in pushing that initiative forward, how we do it is almost as difficult as passing the original election, I think. But Mike, first of all, thank you for taking this on and coming up with these ideas.
Well, Mayor, I was speaking with former Mayor Norick about a year ago, and just happened, to realize, because to me personally, having grown up in Oklahoma City and to see all this happen, and it's amazing to look back at 20 years, what the city was like and what it's like today. And so I shared with Mayor Norick, I said, next year is the 20th anniversary, and we really should do something to acknowledge MAPS 1 completion, to acknowledge the citizens that did go out and vote that day, because I believe it only passed by 53%, that day. So, but it changed Oklahoma City forever, as you know, and also as part of that to recognize the leadership that was part of that, because some people took political risk back then to push those initiatives. And so Ron thought it would be a good idea that we do that, and of course I spoke with you and the Chamber President, Roy Williams, to let you all know we were kind of thinking about the 20th anniversary, and everybody agreed it was something we needed to do.
Yeah. Well, and if you're watching this edition of the Mayor's Magazine early in the month of December, then we have some events coming up that we hope you'll acknowledge if you can't be a part of it. If you're watching it later in the month, then you will have missed many of the events, but we still want to talk about the historical significance of this. And so the first of your events here that we've got on the list, Tuesday, December 3rd, will be down at City Hall for a proclamation.
Yes, we've invited all 3 MAPS mayors to join us, as well as Ed Barth, who chaired the MAPS Oversight Committee for MAPS 1, to join us at City Hall and to present an original proclamation to those key people and give everybody an opportunity to speak there at City Hall. And so that'll be a nice event, informal event, but anybody's welcome, of course, to come down to City Hall that day and be a part of the reading of the proclamation.
And then there'll be a luncheon the next day on Wednesday over at the History Center.
We're excited about this, Mayor, because actually Bob Blackburn from the History Center contacted us and asked us what we thought about the History Center having an exhibit, a MAPS exhibit on the second floor of the History Center that, from what I understand, will be an ongoing exhibit. Again, when you go up to the second floor and it's all about the land run and how important that event was for our city, to me, that vote on December 14th, 1993, maybe it wasn't the land run, but it was a major date in our city's history. And so the idea that the History Center wants to have a permanent exhibit there on the second floor, so we're excited about that. That's a luncheon. We're going to honor 30 people who we've identified as leaders in the map selection 20 years ago. And we're going to make a presentation to each of those. And then there's a new video that Ackerman McQueen is producing that the Chamber helped pay for, that will show the evolution of maps, and we're for 20 years. And so that'll be the first time that video was shown, and then that video will continue to show there at the History Center, so people have an opportunity to go see that. So that's the luncheon, and we're excited about that.
Wednesday, December 6th, will be at the Chesapeake Arena, because the people forget, but that sports arena, now called the Chesapeake Energy Arena, was a pivotal part of maps, and of course, without it, the Thunder doesn't exist in Oklahoma City today.
And you know, Mayor, that's one of the best stories, I think, of maps, and it's Friday, December 6th at the Chesapeake Arena. We'll be on the floor of the Chesapeake Arena. That is a ticketed event, but people can get tickets by going to the Chamber website at okcchamber.com/celebrate-maps. And but that's going to be a great event at the Chesapeake Arena, and again, people are invited to come. But when you mention the Chesapeake Arena, the first time I went to a Hornets game, and as you know, I've had a long history with the city and City Hall, but to sit there and actually watch an NBA team play, and of course this is before we had our own team, but just to have a team for a little while.
Yeah, November of 05, I remember what you're talking about.
It was, I mean, I was emotional because I couldn't believe we're doing it. What people don't know is when Ron Norick really pushed for that arena, he made a point that it was built to NBA specs and NHL specs. And some people, you know, laughed like, do you really think we'll ever have an NBA team? And I remember that clearly. And to look back now and think about that, it is an emotional thing for me, because without that arena, we never had the Thunder, as you know. So.
No, that's right. And I remember roughly 10 years after the vote, walking through the arena with the NBA when they're determining whether or not it's NBA ready. And of course, the stamp of approval went on it, and the rest is, as they say, history.
Right.
All right, Sunday, December 8th, an event at the Norick Library downtown on Park Avenue.
The library is going to have an open house, and of course, that's one of the 9 MAPS projects. It's 1 to 4 o'clock, so if you haven't been to the new library since it even opened, or haven't been there for a while, it's a good time to come down and experience the downtown library. And then on December 14th, the actual date, is the All-College Basketball Tournament. And Tim Brassfield and his staff, they're going to do some special things to acknowledge the 20th anniversary of MAPS. And then our arts groups at the Civic Center Music Hall throughout the month of December are going to acknowledge the fact, because of course the Civic Center Music Hall is another major project. And as you may recall, Mayor, there was some talk from some of building a whole new performing arts facility.
Right.
And I had the opportunity to manage the Civic Center Music Hall. It's a great WPA project. It's a great historic building in our community. And there was talk at one time of building a brand new glass performing arts center somewhere. And fortunately, people got together and worked it out. And of course, we built a new building within a building. Yeah. But just think, if we would have moved that out, that building would have not been used. And so, you know, there's a story about every part of MAPS, the river, the Civic Center Music Hall. And again, today, to see what has come out of MAPS 1, and the $5 billion in private and public investment throughout Oklahoma City, not just downtown, because of MAPS, you know, it's definitely a cause to celebrate.
MAPS was kind of the result of the economic downtimes. And although we think of the MAPS projects as being a lot of fun in most cases, they were economic development drivers. That was the reason. And here we sit 20 years later with the lowest unemployment in the United States.
It's amazing.
It is.
And Mayors, thanks to your leadership, Kirk Humphrey's leadership, because he had to help complete MAPS. They had to extend that vote for 6 months to make sure we had enough funds to complete all the projects in a quality manner. And then, of course, Ron Norick, the father of MAPS, it's the leadership, and we've had excellent leadership in the city. And, you know, I thank you and Mayor Humphreys and Mayor Norick for what you've done for the city. We're very fortunate to have the people in these leadership roles.
And our citizens have been there every step of the way. So, Mike, thanks for allowing us to remember what happened 20 years ago. And I'm not sure what you were doing 20 years ago, but if you were in Oklahoma City, you probably remember the controversy surrounding the vote, and then you've been around to see an incredible change. Mike, thanks very much for coming on. We look forward to the 20th celebration of MAPS throughout the month of December. And then we'll see you when the calendar turns to 2014 for another edition of the Mayor's Magazine. Until then, I'm the Mayor of Oklahoma City, Mick Cornett. Down the line.